Hey friends, welcome to the 54th episode of the Sunday Knitting Society podcast. My name is Chelsea and I'm a knitter in Oklahoma City. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're coming back, welcome back. Hope you guys have had a good 2 weeks. Yeah, mine have been fine. Nothing stand out or crazy about the last 2 weeks. We have like a really overcast, gloomy day, and that's my favorite. It's not super cold. I could deal with it being a little colder. So it's 64 degrees, but it feels, I mean, my house is warmer than that, but I should maybe crack the window. Didn't think about that. But I've got a cup of coffee. This is the mug I ordered from or bought in Copenhagen and I had shipped home. I would try to pronounce the name of the studio, but I will butcher it. So I can put that in the description box, but they have really fun and colorful pottery, and I got a matching bowl, and then I got a couple glass spoons, which are fun, although they say like glass plastic, so I'm not sure. They feel plastic, but I don't know why they would put glass in the name if they weren't glass. I don't know, it's weird. But I got myself a new coffee maker. This is actually this is weird. This is half brewed coffee and half latte from the Harvey, because why not? I love doing pour overs. That's kind of I'm normally a black coffee girl. Like if I have something in my coffee, it's like half and half. But like that's usually like a special thing on the weekends. Usually, I mean, I don't know. I can do either. It's kind of a mix. Some mornings I want black coffee, some mornings I want a little bit of half and half. But sorry, I'm gonna have to open this window. So we just edited that out. Oh, okay, we got some breeze now. Honestly, it's too warm for a sweater, but I was absolutely determined that I was gonna wear a sweater today. So, anyway, so I normally do a pour over in the morning, and I've tried convincing myself that it's a ritual. It's embrace it, you know. It's part of my morning routine. I hate it. I hate the time it takes. It annoys me. I just don't want to do it. So I found a automated pour over machine. It's from Fellow. It's not cheap, but it's not like the most expensive one out there. And I got it Thursday, I think, Thursday, Friday. I got that Thursday night. I love it. I love it so much. I have used it every single day. It makes such good coffee, which is great because I brought a lot home from Copenhagen. I also signed up for a coffee advent calendar from Onyx, and I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, so I've been well caffeinated, which is good. Because my dog is still not back to normal. I don't know what's wrong with him. But he's been waking me up. Like, I've had 2 nights where he hasn't woken me up. I've actually gotten to sleep through the night, which is great. But most nights it's at least twice that he's waking me up to go outside, which is confusing because he's not really having GI distress anymore. So I don't know if this is more just habit now. But I've been getting up a lot. Like, thankfully, one of my superpowers as a human being is falling back asleep quickly. But otherwise this would really suck. But yeah, so I don't know what's going on with him at this point. He's not vomiting or having diarrhea anymore, but I'm really struggling to get him to eat. So he's on an antacid and an appetite stimulant, and I'm giving him very easily digestible food. But yeah, it kind of stinks because he looks like he's maybe lost a little bit more weight, he already lost quite a bit, so we don't want him to lose more, but he's acting normal otherwise. So, except for the whole waking up at the worst, I think he woke me up 4 times one night. It was like every hour and a half to 2 hours we were up. And honestly, like, I get up pretty early, but if they wake me up, or his sister does not wake me up, she will sleep through the night. But if he wakes me up within 30 minutes of my alarm clock, he gets left outside. I don't care what the weather's like. He can just stay outside because I just need some peace. But anyway, so I don't have any FOs today, but I have some exciting whips, and I have a little bit of acquisitions, and yeah, I don't know, this I don't know how long this is gonna be. I never know. But anyway, let's get to it. Ironic that my dog and I are both on an antacid right now. So I am wearing my storm sweater, which is a pattern by PetiteKnit. I love this sweater. So this is like kind of an all over textured. It's really nice. It's only knits and pearls. It's very easy to memorize. It's a drop shoulder. I used Knitting for Olive Heavy Merino in the poppy blue colorway. And if I remember right, I did not hit gauge on this pattern, and I think I went down several sizes because my gauge was much bigger. And it still ended up being pretty big on me. I haven't measured the amount of ease, but I'm gonna guess I've got at least 8 inches of ease, which is more than I normally like. And the sleeves are like, there's no shaping. I think if I remember right, I think I went down several needle sizes for the cuff to try to like as much as I can, but like it'll stay up a little bit, but it's definitely, it's like a sweatshirt. That's how I use it, and I love it. I will say, I don't think Knitting for Olive is the softest, so this is not the softest sweater, but it hasn't, I mean, I wear it quite a bit, and I don't think it's pilled really at all, so it's good that way. Oh, the breeze just came in. Oh, it just felt so nice. But yeah, so the reason I go into detail is I'm knitting another sweater that I have struggled to find the right yarn for, and this was a contender until I realized that my gauge was way off, and this would not have worked for me. Okay, so let's get into the first whip. I have this in a bucket bag from Tina Casey. It is covered in dog hair. So I am doing a test knit for the Crayabea, and it's a Staffen sweater, and we're allowed to show it. So this is where I am on my Staffen sweater. This sweater has been a little frustrating, not because of the pattern, because of the gauge. I didn't think about the gauge when I applied to test knit it. I just looked at the overall sweater, and it's very similar style to this, but with different texture, and it's also a raglan. But I saw it and I was like, oh my gosh, I want to make this. And at the time I thought, oh, I have the perfect yarn for it. Do you think I showed you guys all this last time? But I didn't pay attention to how many stitches per inch. So it's 16 stitches per inch, which is an Aran weight. I don't own Aran weight yarn. I don't like Aran weight. And so the first one I tried was the Yeholt's Old Spendery, and you can literally see me through it. I do like this yarn, but I also, one of the things, so when I started swatching, I swatched flat. I just did stockinette, which is not bad, but it also doesn't tell you if the texture will pop. And I think in hindsight, this one, the texture probably wouldn't have popped as much as I wanted, because I then swatched in Biche Bouche La Lambswool, and then this one is the lambswool with linen quill. This one hit gauge, the lambswool hit gauge, but it's fairly gapey. So then I thought, okay, well, I should probably swatch in pattern. And when I did, I just felt like the pattern was completely lost in this yarn. Like the diamond brocade, you can kind of see it better on camera than you can in real life, but it was just, it didn't do it for me. So I think what I said last time is I was really trying not to just buy an entire sweater's quantity of yarn. And I had some, let me find it. I had some of this, which is the Sonder Yarn Sunday Morning DK, and this was in the Wildwood colorway. And so they made a color in the 4-ply It had a different name, but on the monitor, to me, it looked pretty similar, and it's called Into the Woods. They are the same color. I think this is the ecru base and this isn't, so that might be why they're different names. I don't know. Or I don't know if they just changed the name of it. But I figured, okay, I'm gonna get a fingering weight and a DK weight, hold them together. That way I can use up this DK weight. So I swatched and I hit gauge, but honestly, I felt like I was in the same boat where the diamond pattern really, you can see it, but it's not like standout. And part of me wondered, is this the color of the yarn that's doing this, or is it because this yarn isn't round enough? I didn't know. So I actually lost sleep over this. I spent one night literally scouring the internet. And she does this, Rebecca knit the sweater in Rauma Fievel, and I have access to that, so I could have bought that, but I didn't want to, just because other people in the test knit are using the same yarn, and I wanted to show people that you could knit it in a different yarn. And so I was like, I'm not buying that. And I also kind of wanted to get things that are maybe a little easier to get in the States and not as easy to get in Europe, just again for variety. But I was on the struggle bus, and what I ended up buying, ironically, it hasn't gotten here yet, but the more I thought about it after I bought it, I'm like, I don't know if that's gonna work either. I ordered some Harrisville Peace Fleece, which is I think it's a 2-ply, it might be a 3-ply, but it's kind of similar to the Yale yarn. And when I thought about it later, I was like, oh, that maybe wasn't my wisest move. But then I kind of had a moment where I was like, whatever, I'm just gonna knit it. And if it doesn't show the texture, it doesn't show the texture. And I like, maybe when the Peace Fleece gets here, I'll do a second one in that. It's a different color, so whatever. But I was like, I'm tired of swatching, and I'm tired of spending money on yarn. It's just gonna have to work. And actually, I think it does. I think, so this, you do pick up the colors afterward. But you've got these really cool big raglans. She does awesome. Like, her shoulder details are always so good. This is just delightful to knit with. I forgot how much I love Sandra yarn. Sunday Morning line. Like, I have my Louvre sweater is in the Sunday Morning DK. Sunday Morning DK. I've never knit a sweater in the 4-ply, I think. But together they're just delightful, and there's like no marling really, because they're the same color, which is great. The one thing the other thing that's kind of frustrating about this, and this is my fault, this is not the pattern. I will say this pattern, I would not rate it as a beginner pattern, because there's 3 different textures. There's the rib texture, there's the bobble texture, and there's the brocade, diamond brocade, or like lattice. And you have the pattern, but each section starts at a different point in those charts. So you have to, like, what she said is basically put a stitch marker at the beginning of the chart, so that you know when you get to that part, because you're increasing here, and so you have to intuitively know, okay, so this is going to be like the last 3 stitches of the pattern, and then I'm going to start the pattern over, or the chart over. That didn't make sense to my brain when I started this, so everybody started at square one. And then I start reading through a little bit more, and it was like, if you didn't start at the right place on the chart for each section, when you go to split for sleeves, your pattern won't line up. So, and that is not, like, that's very clearly stated in the pattern, so that's on me for missing it. But, what was I say? Like, I feel like sometimes patterns, when they have stuff like this, they will actually say, okay, they'll like write it out. Like, for this first row, this is what you're gonna do. I think that would be too much for this pattern because each size starts at a different point, and so you'd have to have written instructions for every size, and that would just be way too much work. And it would also make the pattern like a novel. But I think it does take a little bit of brain power, because what happened is I ended up having to rip back to like back up to here, but I'd already done some increases, so I had to go and count and figure out where my starting point was and then count back from there. So I'm at the point now where it's intuitive again. I've fixed that problem, and so now I'm just chugging away. It is a little bit like stripes in the sense that it's very addictive. So like, because it kind of is stripes in the sense that like you're getting to a new texture or you're getting to a new row. And so I find it really hard to find a stopping point on this, and I just want to keep working on it. This is basically 3 days of work too. So this goes quickly. Oh my gosh, the breeze is hitting me and it just feels so good. It's supposed to rain today, but if I'm home, I might just keep all the windows open, and if it starts raining, go run around and shut them, because it's just nice. Oh, sorry. I love a cold breeze, especially when I'm cooking in a sweater I shouldn't be wearing. Okay, so yeah, that's my Staffen sweater. I think this one's coming out in January, so I still have plenty of time on this, but I think once I figured out the part on this that was confusing me, I really enjoy it now. And we'll see. I made another one in Peace Fleece. The Peace Fleece color I got, if I remember right, it's kind of like a pea green, which I don't think I have a sweater in pea green. And so I'm like really looking forward to that. Okay, so that was the Staffen sweater. The next one, I'm kind of at a stopping point on this, so it's all in try-on cords. But this is my Marseille sweater from PetiteKnit. I could try it on, but I'm not going to. So this is a very boxy, drop shoulder, I think what else, striped sweater. It is, so I don't love it when designers, let me see, when to be able to effectively do the pattern, you have to hit row gauge and stitch gauge, because I find that to be nearly impossible. Because if you go up a needle size, your stitch gauge will be off, but then your row gauge might be on. And if you go down as a needle size, then your stitch gauge might be on, but your row gauge will be off. So my row gauge is not accurate on this, because I did go down a needle size to hit stitch gauge. And what you do is you knit the back panel first. And she basically says, like, at this many stitches or this many rows, add in your first stripe. And then when you pick up for the front, you basically are supposed to count the rows to add this back in. But the problem is you're not starting, like, these are sloped, and so it's not necessarily the same number as in the back. That makes sense. So what I just had to keep doing was laying it down and looking at it, and I'm like, it looks like it's right. But it would potentially throw you off if you didn't get that right, because then whenever you're wearing it, it might be like that. Yeah, so that kind of annoyed me. But otherwise, I like it. I think she tells you to do 19 rows, 6 rows. I did 26 because because when I haven't woven in any ends, because what's the point? But I had to like do the first row here, my cast on stitches in the pink, and then it was like, oh crap, I'm at 20. So that's why I do 20-inch stripes. But I think you need like a total of 5 stripes, and I'm at 3. But I kind of wanted to do the collar, pick up and knit the collar, so I would kind of have a better idea how it's going to lay before. And I had just finished off a ball of the pink, and so I thought, okay, this is a good stopping point on the million ends that are going to have to be woven in on this. It's fun. But then my yarn for the Staffen came, and so this has kind of been on hold. But I need this. This is one I want to wear more than any of the other sweaters or the projects I'm doing. This one I want to wear so badly. Like I want to take this one with me on Christmas vacation, which shouldn't be a problem because I figure the Staffen, I'll be done with that in a couple weeks, I think. And so this can then become my numero uno. And really this is very easy at this point. Like the hardest part right now is going to be adding the collar because I'll have to pick up stitches, and I hate picking up stitches. I will have to pick them up for the sleeves as well. I don't enjoy that either, but that's fine. I have like a picture in my mind of what I want this sweater to be. And so what I'm gonna do is like a 3-inch 1x1 rib at the bottom, and then probably like 4-inch 1x1 rib at the cuffs, because I want it to have a very, and I might even go down several needle sizes because I want it to be a very fitted cuff. So that's where I am with the Marseille. Oh yeah, the yarn I'm using is Explore Knits and Fibers. They're Rocky's DK, I think. The Superwash one. In DK, this is Gumwall, this is Pike Place. And I am mixing dye lots from different years, and you can't tell because they're that good. Okay. My last whip is a really fun one. It is not a sweater. It's not even knitting. It's crochet. With my, I gotta show you guys this. So I bought crochet hooks with the little grips on them. I think I showed these last time, but they were in like lame paper boxes. I forgot I bought, so I, as an adult, as a child too, I love the back to school section in the store. Like when it gets to like July, I'm just like, ooh, back to school, school supplies. And I bought this little tote with no idea why did I buy this? I don't carry pencils, but it just so happens it is perfect for stashing all of my crochet hooks. Isn't that fun? So I have a crochet pouch, so it fits all of them perfectly. This one I'm using a 3mm crochet hook. And are y'all ready for this? This is like the happiest thing. Oh my gosh, isn't this amazing? So this is the Triangle Granny from Amiée. I'm not done. I'm at 40 stripes at this point. She, I think, says to do 59, but I'm using a thinner yarn and a smaller crochet hook. So I'm actually gonna probably go at least to 60, probably more than that. But it's so fun. Oh my gosh. This is actually the first time I've tried it where it actually will do this. Like I've been putting it on and it's just been too small for that. But like, you guys, how fun is that? You can see my ends. I have been weaving in ends at kind of as I go. Like I'll usually wait till I've got like, this is one, but I'll wait till I've got like 6 ends and then on each side, and then I'll go weave them in. I've tried doing the whole like catch them as I crochet, and I don't like it. So I just get a tapestry needle, and every 3 stripes or so I just go ahead and weave in ends. But like, look at this fun yarn. So this is all from Moondrake Yarns. This is the Ultraviolet Stardust. Nope. Ultraviolet, shoot. What is it? Okay. Ultraviolet. Oh no, it's Stardust. Okay, huh. So I bought 3 of these colors. This one was like pastel electric lime, I think. This one was Barbie pink, and this one, I don't remember the name of this one. Rose Quartz. I'm trying not to pull this thing all the way out. So these are the 3 colors I bought from her. Look at all they've got like neon speckle or tweeds in them. This one I think is actually my favorite. I think I said last time she's coming out with a DK in this, and this needs to be a sweater. I just think this would be, maybe this would be my birthday sweater. Ooh. My birthday's in February. I might have to do that. Okay, so those were the 3 colors I bought. Obviously, I'm using more than 3 colors because she did the same pattern in this yarn and had leftovers, so she offered to let me use her leftovers. So y'all get ready for this. I don't know any of these colors because they don't have tags on them, but they're on her website. So this one is such a fun buttery yellow, and then we have like a coral and like a Kelly green and an aqua. This one's fun. There's like a fuchsia. I think this one might be electric berry. I like this one. And then like I think this one's fairy godmother, which I think is just a great name. And then she had 2 special, oh no, I've been trying so hard to keep these neat. Mostly because it's like the chaos drives me crazy. So she had 2 special colors, and one of them was for La Bien-Aimée. I think this was it. This one was a custom color for La Bien-Aimée. And then I take it back. This one might actually be my favorite. And this was another variegated. And this could have been them could have both been for La Bien-Aimée. I don't remember, but like these were special ones. This one, oh my gosh, it's just so pretty. So I've just been picking them pretty much at random. And just however my heart desires. We're at the point now where these stripes actually take a while. So, but it's granny stripes. It's very monotonous. It's very easy to do. I am not a good crocheter, and I can do this. So, I'm loving it. Oh, it's just so happy and so fun. I actually started making another one with a different yarn and decided very quickly that I'm not a fan of it, so I haven't ripped it out yet. But I mean, I like the concept. I just didn't like it. Was too scratchy. It was never going to be something I wore around my neck, and so I kind of had to pivot and change course with that one. So it might become a blanket, but it's not going to become a scarf. Just organizing my stuff here. Okay, that's all my whips. Oh, gotta keep my hook. Actually, somebody had a great idea, because I had mentioned in the last podcast that I struggled, like if I put down a crochet project, I was forgetting what hook I was using. And then like I have one project that I just haven't picked up in like 3 years because I literally can't remember what hook I used. I didn't put it in Ravelry. I don't have any pictures with the hook in it. And she suggested that I get some stitch markers that have letters or numbers on them so that I can hook it on a project and know which crochet hook I'm using. So I found an Etsy shop. I don't remember who it was. There were lots of options for this, but they're little acrylic. They have like light bulb stitch markers within a little acrylic thing. And I got 2 sets. I have one that have letters. And then I had one that had like millimeters, because in the US, I think typically people use the lettered crochet hooks, but all of the hooks that I own only have millimeters on them. And so I kind of figured, okay, I'll get both for 2 reasons. One, if I have 2 projects going on and I've already used the hook for one, then I can use the letter for the other. I could have just bought 2 sets of hooks, I guess, or 2 sets of numbers. Didn't think that through. But I also figured if it's a pattern that like says you need to use like an H hook or something, then I can always look that up later. And at least I can just put that on there. So those haven't gotten here yet. They just shipped today, but that was a really good idea. So thank you to whoever gave me that idea. It was one of those, when I read the comment, I was like, oh, duh. Like, of course, that's a great idea. Okay. That is all my whips. I have the sock whip, but I need to actually do the heel today, but that's not exciting. So what do I have to see? I have one. So, okay, this one's already been shown, so I'm not giving this away, but I'm in the year of socks from Merci, and this is October's. I think this is October. I hope is this November or October? I don't know, but it's just this, I mean, it almost looks like coffee grounds. I don't think did they name it? Oh, it's from Somerset. You can tell I've read it. They not, oh, it doesn't even have a name. Well, I'm gonna call it coffee grounds. That's what it looks like to me. It's very soft. It is superwash merino and nylon. It's 80/20. Sorry, the dog just got a little overwrought in the neighbor's yard. But yeah, so that's this one. I hope you can't hear that dog. It sounds like somebody put him outside and he really, really doesn't want to be outside. Okay, so I had one more acquisition. Yeah, this is gonna be a short episode. I was like, man, I have so much that I'm working on, but it's all been like a couple projects. Okay, so this was a pre-order. It just came in this week, but I ordered, so back at Flock, on the Sunday, I went by Sorella's booth and picked up this beautiful, it's classic DK, so it's 100% superwash merino. It is 231 yards and 100 grams. And this is the blank space. So these are the Taylor Swift themed yarns. Love this color. I think I bought 5 skeins of it, which then I got home and I was like, but that's not enough to make a sweater with. And so she had in her pre-order, she had this yarn. I could have just bought this, but I decided to live on the edge a little bit. And so I got her Stellina DK. You can kind of see it. So I think the colors match up beautifully, but I figured this was a way to hedge my bets a little bit, because if the colors were not perfect, because they are different dye lots, the sparkle would distract people. And it would almost be like intentionally striping. So I got 2 skeins of this, so I now have 7. And I figured what I would do is stripe these in with this. So it's the same color, but there's gonna be little sparkle stripes in it. So that's the plan. I'm not entirely sure what pattern I'm making with this. There's part of me that wanted to make, forgot the name of it. It's from PetiteKnit, and it's actually in a similar color. But hers is out of Pure Gint, and it's a turtleneck. Here's my thing though, I don't like turtlenecks, and this one, what I don't like about this one either is the turtleneck is visible like out here and then it folds over. So like that would bother me. If I'm gonna make a turtleneck, I want it tucked under, like I want the fold to cover the start of the turtleneck. So I probably won't do that one, but I like the concept of that. I think what made me think of it was she used pretty much the same color. But I want something cozy. Like I could do another Marseille sweater in this. That'd be fun. We'll see. I haven't decided yet. So, okay. Then I also got a sock set from her, and this is acoustic set. And this is a Stellina sock set because how could I not? It's just really pretty. I like the warm tones there. And then I bought 2 other skeins that I have no idea what I'm going to make with them, but they just seemed too interesting to not buy. So this is Surrey DK. So it's 10 or 70% Surrey alpaca, 23% recycled nylon, and 7% wool. And it's 284 yards and 100 grams. So I got not blank space. This is willow. And then this is August. I really actually wish I'd gotten a whole sweater quantity in that. It's super, super pale. It's actually more lavender. Like on here it's showing pink, but it's actually more purple in real life. But I think these would be really fun together, and I could do like a cowl or something like that. Or I could do, ooh, I could do like the triangle granny. Except for I want these to fluff up and I don't want there to be holes. Like I don't want it to be gapey. So it's so soft. This is insanely soft. Actually, this would be the turtle dove. Like I know the original turtle dove is in like bulky almost. But this is kind of feels reminiscent to Luft by Woolfolk? Yeah, Woolfolk. I'm like, lots of words are going in my head. They didn't sound right. But this feels reminiscent of that, but it is thinner than Luft. So I think the Turtle Dove 2 was in a worsted weight. So you can maybe get away with this. I don't know. If I'd have thought that through, I'd have bought a sweater's quantity in this. But I was also like, don't be crazy. Don't buy that much yarn. So, yeah, that is all my acquisitions for now. By next time I think the Harrisville Peace Fleece is getting in next week, and then I have other stuff. I pre-ordered from Explore Knits from the farmer's market, and I think that's coming in pretty soon too. Like I haven't gotten shipping notification yet, but I think they were saying like they're already ahead of schedule. Because I don't think that was supposed to ship until like November, which I guess we're in November. But anyway, so I'm obviously not in a rush to get that yarn. I think that would also make that yarn make a good birthday sweater. Ideas. I actually counted up my sweaters that I've knit, at least the ones I have on Ravelry. Is that right? No, I think at one point I was actually on my Ravelry pages, I was numbering what sweater it was, and I was only counting actual, like not t-shirts, but sweaters that I made for myself. Not like kid sweaters or tees or tanks, only sweaters, and I'm at 48. So I actually need to give some away because there are some I just don't wear, and there's no point in keeping them if I'm not going to wear them. But I haven't gotten around. My brain has not been in a place to organize that. Yeah, so when I get there, I will do that. But yeah, so that's it for me today. If you're in the US, I hope you have either already voted or you are planning to vote today. I think every state maybe is different. I don't know if they're different as far as early voting goes. I early voted on Wednesday. That was the first date we could vote. I wasn't necessarily planning on it. Actually, I wasn't planning on it at all because I always go to the polling place in red, white, and blue. Like I've done that for the last 2 election cycles. And for me, it's a way of focusing on the positive, because I think there's a lot of, like, politics in general are just, I feel like, generally have a negative connotation with them. Not for everybody, but I think they're just stressful. And so me dressing up is a way of reminding myself, like, this is a privilege that I get to do this, and I get to participate, and it helps keep it kind of lighthearted for me. So normally I dress up in red, white, and blue to go vote, and I was not. I had a blue-ish top on, but that was it. And I heard from like other people that so to vote early you have to vote in your county election board, which is very close to where I work, and I've voted there before, so I was like, that's totally fine. It's got an enormous parking lot in the front. And what I heard was that there was a line of cars all the way down the street just to get a parking spot to vote. Like, and you have to get out of your car and stand in line. So the line to get a parking spot, and then you get in line to vote. And somebody else I talked to earlier that day said it took them 3 hours to vote, which I was like, oh. And it was raining for part of the day, and I was like, I didn't bring a raincoat, I don't want to do that. But I thought, I'm just going to drive by there on my way home and see how bad it is. And there was no line out the parking lot. There was actually plenty of parking. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to do it. And then I realized very quickly that, like, I basically got out of my car and almost immediately got in line. And we saw people leaving, and they said that by the time you get to the side of the building, it's a 30-minute wait. And it was like the line was 3 times that long. So I waited in line an hour and a half. But I had an audiobook. I didn't bring my knitting. I was annoyed about that. But I'm glad I did it because when I drove home yesterday, I voted Wednesday. I avoided that street on Thursday because I didn't want to get stuck in any kind of traffic. But on Friday, I had to go somewhere that I had to drive by that. And at like lunchtime on Friday, there was a line all the way back the road. So, which honestly, like, it's annoying to wait in a line that long, but it honestly makes me happy that that many people are out there voting, because that's what we want, is voter turnout. So, but yeah, just if you're gonna vote early, bring your knitting, bring an audiobook or something, because that helped. But I also am going, in tradition, up until the votes are fully tallied, I will wear red, white, and blue every day, just for fun. So like today, I'm wearing the blue. I don't have red running shorts, I have blue running shorts, and that's what I'm choosing to wear. I do have red pants though. I don't have a red dress anymore. I got rid of that. I have blue dresses though. So I'll probably post, if I end up wearing a sweater, because it's going to be colder next week. So if I end up wearing a red, white, and blue sweater or something, I will post it to Instagram just to help keep this positive. Yeah, so, okay, enough chit chat. I need to go do some knitting. I need to clean my house. Like, really need to clean my house. I need to do a lot of laundry. And I'm just going to be cozy. Okay, no, I forgot a thing. It was buried under, I'm like, I know there's something I forgot to talk about, because it's buried under yarn and I forgot to talk about it. I have one more acquisition that is not yarn, but it's kind of yarn adjacent. So, during the Rhinebeck week, was it Rhinebeck or after Rhinebeck? I don't know. Emily from Botanical Knitter, on her Instagram, she was posting pictures of these buttons that she got from a store called Hollenhoof's Farm Store. Hollenhoof Farm Store, which I think is honestly a hilarious name. So I got some buttons, and y'all, they're so cool. So this is the first one. They are, I think they're clay, but with an enamel paint on them. So pretty. These were the most unusual I've seen, and I think these are also clay with enamel paint. Like, they're just so funky. I love it. And then this last one I think is my favorite. I didn't see that they put their card on there. They gave me a discount. I didn't even see that. I get 15% off my next order. Sweet. Okay. But look at these. These are carved wooden buttons. I don't know what I'm going to use these for, because I don't like knitting cardigans, but I'm a sewist now. So maybe I'll put this on something I sew if I can ever work up the courage to knit another button band. I guess I could just like put them on a fake button band too. But that was my last acquisition. I just felt like I had to show them because they're so cute. And like, so there's their little logo and there's their website. So if you guys want to go check them out, they are not cheap by any means, but they're all so cool and unique that for me, they were totally worth the money. And honestly, I wanted to buy like twice as many, but I had to rein it in. I thought that was funny that I was shopping at a Hollenhoof store and I was reining it in. Unintentional pun. But yeah, you guys should go check them out. They're pretty cool. Okay, so sorry, making sure that wasn't like a mailman. I will see you guys back in 2 weeks, I think that should be fine. Maybe with an FO, who knows? No promises. Definitely with some more yarn. And with a new president. Woohoo. So I hope you guys have a great 2 weeks. I hope you get out there and vote if you can. And I hope you just have a wonderful 2 weeks where you get lots of time to knit or whatever your craft is. You get time to move your body and be with the people you love. I'll see you guys back in 2 weeks. Bye.